that's one of many folk horror stories you've written. What draws you to folk horror?
I suppose it's very much in my blood, should we say. And I do believe in epigenetic memory because we are, after all, the product of our parents, we're the product of their grandparents, and so on and back. And my maternal grandparents, especially, were kind of rural folks. My grandfather's lineage is really interesting. They were, well, he could trace it back to the Earls of Louth and Meath. And then his section of the family had renounced Protestantism and embraced Catholicism. And because of that, they were disinherited and they became gardeners. Now, this is in the 16th century. My grandfather was a gardener. So there's something about that memory of the land that I really believe in. I think it's impossible in Ireland to walk around it without being aware of the spectral quality of the landscape and what it holds within it. I'm very fond of the phrase storied landscape because everything goes down in Ireland and then everything resurfaces. We have a dark history and we're at once pulling away from it and fascinated by it. And I think folk horror becomes a useful analogy for that experience of colonization, of complex histories and contested territories. But I could talk a lot about it and will happily do so. But I just find for me, it's a well that I keep coming back to. Because when I was writing my first short story collection, which the Unheimlich maneuver, which looked at the domestic uncanny, I was also putting together what I fondly thought was going to be my folk horror book, New Music for All Rituals, which I finished in 2016, was published in 2018 by Black Shuck Books. But I thought, well, then, that's not done. But it keeps recurring like folk horror itself. So there was the middle grade novel, my 2023 novella, This Shut Me Up, and the book that I've just put the pen down on, well, until edits come back, Queens of the Crone Age, which again leans into this notion of it's rapidly coming together, if you like, a collection of themes which are folklore, feminism, and revoicing that seem to me so innate in folk horror.
That's a gorgeous title as well.
Which one?
Queens of the Crone Age.
I know it's a really bad pun, first of all, which I enjoy.